talked about that the 7 frameworks that drive the life of a successful CEO. And we started by saying that you are the CEO of your life. It's when you do well in one that you can have two. And when you do well in two, you can have three.
Okay. I don't. Was I even in that class? I can't really find my place.
Okay, you were not in the class. So who was in that class outside Charity and outside Oloma? Who was in that class that can tell us, recap what we were able to learn on Tuesday? We talked about some frameworks that drive the life of a successful CEO.
That's something you listed. I know that. I don't see it.
Hmm? What's happening? Lillian, were you in the class? Seems like all of us we didn't show up in that class or what? Wow. That's remarkable. What's happening? Is it that we were not in class or we were in class, but I thought we had attendance in that class. So is it that we didn't pick anything from the class or the frameworks are not clear enough or we didn't write them down or what? I want to know. I thought we had a nice time last Tuesday. So who will bail us so that we can forge ahead? Because the beauty of learning is in application. Okay, Lillian learned about taking note of her cash flow. Okay, that is when we talked about the money. When we talked about one of the frameworks, and we called money as one of the frameworks. And then we went into money, and I think we said things like, if you man your money will become a man. So your money will be able to grow. Right? But if you're not able to man your money well, if you're not able to manage your money well, the money will not become man enough to save you in the coming years, right? So, and that comes by taking note of where is my money going. When you write down your expenses, was that last week? I don't even know. That when you write down your expenses, that what happens? You're able to see your priorities on paper. You're able to know, oh, these are the things that drives my life, right? Okay. Treasury listed the systems for us, and she says we talked about, and those were the systems I was looking for. We talked about the frameworks, rather, the frameworks that makes you successful, that makes you take ownership of your life, right? Because being a CEO is all about taking ownership. And it talks about marketing, being able to sell yourself, talks about having systems. Oh, this is what I should be doing on a regular Saturday. That's what system is. System means that your results become boring to get because they are scalable, they are repeatable. That's what system means. It means that, oh, people know at this particular time you will be in church. At this particular time, you'll be doing your sales call. At this particular time, you'll be reading in your library. At this particular time, you'll be playing golf. At this particular time, you'll be doing street marketing. At this particular time, you'll be shooting your videos. Yeah, it's funny, right? But that's why sometimes we say boring businesses make the most money. Because when the system is well systemized, it becomes really boring. Okay, and we talked about, I'm not sure we talked about systems. Yes, we didn't talk about system that day, but okay, we're going to look at legacy. We're going to look at systems today. I've just started talking about systems, thinking we dealt with it the other time. We're going to talk about team, and then we're going to talk about legacy and data. And I think we dealt with money and marketing and we said mindset. I want this class to be extremely interactive. So you can just keep your phone on mute and remember to on your videos so that we know who is paying attention and who is not. Janet, you're welcome. Remember to on your videos. And so I think it gives me a more. So let me know why we don't really understand this concept, or whether where you are, there's no light, whether there's light, just keep your video on. And that's the beauty of it, okay? And so what I'm saying is this. Repetition is the first law of learning, just like order is the first law of heaven. Repetition is the first law of learning, just like order is the first law of heaven. And if repetition is the first law of learning, and we also say, all of us have agreed this long ago, most of us on this call, we have agreed that if we look at champions long enough, we'll become champions. So what are we doing? We're just looking at them repeatedly. If you also look at losers long enough, you become a loser. If you look at them long enough, you become like them. So it's your choice to choose who you will look at. The same way, when you learn things long enough, you become those things. When you learn something long enough, not when you are looking but you are not seeing. You're looking but you're not taking instructions. Okay? Some of us, our videos are still not on. That is it. So those are the people that I think I was cracking a joke with someone this evening. And you know what I said? I said, oh, I was talking to someone and the person was saying, I was trying to explain something that I learned from someone that is extremely good in this field and has worked in this field for a lot of years with a lot of evidence, a lot of results, showing results every year, winning awards almost every year, not almost every year, twice a year, and that. And you know the point. And the person said something. He said, no, that person doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't understand the concept. And I just said, oh, this person is a dead person. Now, although that was in my mind, but you know, the rationale why I could get to that point is because most of us die at 28 and we're buried. We're not buried till we're 70. That doesn't mean, what it really means is this. Most of us have heard me say that we stop learning at 28. Then we have just the same way people have 1 year experience and they repeat that 1 year experience for 38 years. So they don't have 38 years work experience. They just have 1 year experience repeated in what? In 38 years. Because they have stopped learning to make that process better. They have stopped learning how do we systemize this. They have stopped learning how do we make our system better. They just work with that one system that was developed in year one. And they work it for 38 years. So they have just repeated, they don't have 38 years experience. The same way it is for us when we feel, oh, I've understood the basics, so let me run. Yes, you understand the basics, but you also know that the basics keeps getting refined year in, year out. So let's learn to look at champs long enough to become champions. Let's learn to look at, you don't study a concept that is new and don't go and keep looking at it. Because if we have studied it over time, you've looked at it, what did we learn this Tuesday? Let me check it on YouTube. You check that concept on YouTube, you watch it. Whether you have a television that can get you on YouTube or you have your phone, you get on YouTube, you watch the concept. I'm sure someone somewhere else around the world must have talked about something like that, right? You pick it and you look at it. Beautiful. Now you're watching champions talk about a concept. Long enough, you will become a champion. So these things matter. These things matter. These things matter. These things matter. Every day we're in Africa, so we see a lot of dead people masquerading themselves as living beings. I know my choice of words may not really be good, but you know, the goal is not to make us happy. The goal is to get us sit up and stand up. Because when we sit on our butt, we don't get things done. And the first law of prosperity is energy. I've said three. First law of heaven being order. The first law of learning being repetition. And the first law of prosperity is energy. And energy is not shown by putting your butt on the ground. Energy is shown being up, getting things done, reading that book, doing the things you said you would do, phoning the client, talking, taking the calls. As most of us are here, we are listening. You're taking energy to listen. You may not feel like it's energy, but remember, when you talk to somebody that drains you, the person is just saying nonsense, is talking things that you don't understand, he's just full of negative vibes. When the person leaves, you just feel down, right? So it took you energy to hear the things that he said that didn't count. It counted, but in the negative direction, because things must count in your life. It's either going to count you forward or it's going to count you backward. So either way. So I don't know, maybe I want to make sure we're paying attention. Does someone ever felt the act of you come in and then someone is you come in and how do I say it? You talk to someone for a long while and somehow you become very tired when the person goes. You just feel drained. You just feel like I want to go home and go and rest. And if you ask yourself what you did, you don't know. Who has ever had that type of feeling? Hmm? If you have ever had that type of feeling, you can just unmute yourself and let's.
Okay, that type of feeling comes when someone, a lot of complaints, how Nigeria is not good, how his village people were just after his life, how the money he's making is not enough, how this and that. So, and it takes a lot of energy to not just to lift up someone's spirit, but it also takes a lot of energy to motivate the person because the person is not actually coming from the kind of realm or the thoughts you have. So if care, okay, that day care was not actually taken, and unfortunately, I found myself, my energy getting weighed down in what he was saying. And at some point, I said this is where the talk now true. It gets to a point where people will keep telling you about how Nigeria is not actually, you yourself, you won't even see a reason to say, it's good, though, because you want to fit in their shoe, you want to pity them, you want them to feel that, this is my guy, to understand what I they talk. But at the end of
So in summary, what you are saying is that when the guy leaves you, you feel very tired. Do you ever have that kind of feeling? When someone is done about spilling all sort of things that you're not really interested in, that you become very tired after listening to the person without doing any work. If you had an energy drive to run from here to Onitsha, you just feel like, let me go home, let me go and rest. Do you feel like that?
Yes.
Or do you still have your energy to still go back and start going to Onitsha if you are on your way to Onitsha?
The energy has been drained already because it's like somebody coming to take what you have from you and you don't have anything again. You iron home, this and that. You don't even know what happened. But at the end of the day, something transpired because the person came with no energy and the one you had, the little, he drained it, not even collecting it. It was drained in the process.
Now that's what I'm trying to let us know, that invariably that in life we must either go ahead or we will go home. And home is good, but going ahead is better. So invariably, let's always know that we should be able to focus on the things that make our life better, no matter how it may seem, because learning is like food, like we all know. If you eat the right nutrients, it will show. If you rub bleaching cream, the first day you rub bleaching cream, it is not the day that you start establish, right? Is if you rub bleaching cream, after a while, bleaching cream will show. We had the show that we did, the Nigerians, and it was trending, establish. When money come, establish, right? And we saw people show us where they were dark and when they were fair. It took a while. That is the same way that they were not seeing the direct replica effect. But it's seen, but if you pay attention to that. So let's remember to pay attention to what we learn. And remember, it's those repetitions that does the magic. It's when you meditate on those things that your life can take a turn. It took you a lot of years to be here. It will take you a very few years, not even, it didn't take you a lot of years. It took you tens of generations to be where you are. There's a concept we study called the paradigm, right? I'm not sure I've ever been able to demystify that for us because it takes a lot of time. So, but the concept of the food paradigm is this, that you don't live your life, you live other people's life. So you are living the life of your father and your mother. Remember, your mother did not live their life. They lived the life of, so more like your generation might be living the life of your 10th grandfather that nobody knew, nobody saw. So it gives you, if you take if you are conscious about it, that is when you can be able to break it. So invariably, there's not really generational cause or generational blessing, just the generational pattern, generational way of thinking. There's nothing more like generational disease. It's just generational modeling. It's just generational paradigm that is being reflected. That is why, as simple as temperament, which most of us know, most of us, at least 60–80% of people on this call know their temperament and personality trait, right? And then as simple as temperament is learned, is culture, is upbringing that determines your temperament. It determines your personality. It's nurture and nature. Nurture, right? We always say it, that temperament and personality trait is a result of nature and nurture. Right? And people will nurture you based on what they know. And most times what they don't know is more than what they really know. What I don't know is more than what I really know. So please, I will always encourage us to remember that the lifeblood, the pathway to a better life is not just in today, but is in what we're able to do with today. Let's not waste the day. Let's not waste the day. Let's not waste the day. For us to change our life, there's a concept we shared last week. We called it the BIG. I want to repeat it so we don't forget it. Now, who you will become in the next 5 years is dependent on three things. BIG, the books you read, meaning the knowledge you get, the lectures you take, the lectures you don't take. Because, life is about what you do and what you don't do. So the books you read, the individuals you meet, and the goals you set. Individuals are very important. Individuals will drag you to goals. They will also drag you to books. Yeah. individuals should drag it to goals, they drag it to what? To books. I think I wanted to show a little example. Can't remember. I think I was somewhere the other time, and someone somewhere gave me a very interesting literature. I think, okay, what was that? It was just a concept of speed reading that can help me read 100 pages an hour. And it was phenomenal, right? Just like sharpening your sword. And so that will also help me set more goals or expand my goals. And so that is that. So let's always remember that. And something I wanted to say something deeper than that, but let's continue on our class last week. In the next 10 minutes, I think we'll be off here. So we talked about systems. And now we said, when your systems become good, as an individual, you should have system. I should know where you should be on a Tuesday night. I should know where you should be on a Monday night. Even if I don't know, you should know, right? So I say you should know where you should be on a Tuesday night. You should know where you should be on a Thursday night. You should know, am I going to be at home? Am I going to be at a meeting? Am I going to be prospecting? That is when, because you are now giving routine to your life. You are bringing systemization. You know, oh, I'm reading a book a week. As busy as Satoni Elumelu is, he reads 2 books a what? A month. Then as Oga used to, the owner of Microsoft, Bill Gates, right? As far back as 2018, I know he reads 150 pages per hour. So in a weekend, he can go on a vacation and read 10 books. So his friends would always say that if you are discussing about this glass with him, that he knows more about glass than you, even if you are producing glass. That no matter any concept you bring to discuss with him, because he does not read, if about something, with one, let's say he wants to read about, what do I say, maybe energy, right? He wants to understand, okay, he wants to understand how kids can use land banking to grow wealth. He will study 5 books on it. So invariably, at any point in time, no matter who you are on that subject and you're discussing it with him, he tends to know more than you. Things that are 100% unrelated to what he does. So so why does that? Because it builds a system. Why I'm talking about system is being able to build a system. Oh, this is how I do things. It's the same way. You must not build your system around the way he has built a system, but the goal is to have a system. And what is a system? How you know that a system is good is that it becomes so boring and repeatable. Have you asked yourself, why do boring businesses make the most money? Because it's easy to play. Now, when you have a system, it also means that if you just show somebody, you have a timetable. You know how, if you want to see somebody that studied chemistry, right? Or that studied engineering in the university, let's say he studied civil engineering, there's a timetable for what he's doing in year 1. These are the courses you're taking, year 2, year 3, year 4, right? That's that system. So invariably, you shouldn't be the person that washes your clothes on a Tuesday or you take your clothes to the laundry on a Wednesday. No, there should be system. There should be pure systemization. So it helps your life to be in order. It helps your life to be in check. It helps you to work on a routine. That doesn't also mean that with system, you shouldn't have fun. Fun should be included in your system. So there are times if you're you're a cinema lover, you're a music lover, there are times you get to the cinema house and play your jazz, right? If you want to go have a picnic, it should be there. If you want to go on a vacation park water, it should be there. That's what I mean. So don't just construe systemization to frugality or it must be 100%. Fun is productive work. Because if your brain can relax, taking a walk in the morning, or taking a walk, traveling is productive. Does this make sense? If this makes sense, please, I want to know if this makes sense. If we get the concept of what I'm saying. If you get it, please just write, I get it. Okay. So invariably, so we proceed. Does this make sense at all? Does this make sense? Do we understand this concept? Do we understand this concept? And then we have what we call team, right? Now, because of life is built in such a way that no matter how good you are, you your strength can only get you for you to become, oh, you can always win the day, right? Remember what we said? We said if you win the hour, you win. If you win enough hours in the day, you will win the day. If you win enough days in the week, you will win the week. If you win enough weeks in the month, you win the month. Now, if you win enough months, you will win the year. That is, you have won the championship of the year. That is what it means. Sorry. Hope we get it. Now, just like, let me use Arsenal fans, just be happy, don't be angry. You get it. I know you guys lost the match the other day. I'm not fanning in the club, but I like Arsenal. And so when I learned they lost the match, now that's the championship, right? Now, the people that are going to win that championship is not because of they have one Messi or one Ronaldo. No, it's because not just the Messi, it's that the team is good. Outside that, there's a Ronaldo in a team. If the team is not good, Ronaldo once in a while they will win they will win, what would they call it? They will win the match. But for them to win with all good, for them to be able to win a championship, to win the cup, to win championship league or Premier League, your team as a whole have to be good. They have to play as one. You have to have a good team. So invariably, if that's why you remember when we say the PIG, those are the things that affect who you become in 5 years. So you must be in a good team. You must be in a good team. So for you to win the year, you must be in a good team. For you to win the month, you must be in a good team. You can win the day by yourself. You can win the week by yourself. But winning the month, the team have to be good. Winning the year, the team have to be good. Occasionally, you can win the month, but very rare will you win the year without a solid team, just like championship. Did that analogy make sense? So invariably, you must be scouting for good people to be in your team. You must be scouting to have meet quality individuals, meet quality mentors. Who are your team members? Your team members are threefold. One, mentors. Those are above you, right? In our business, we have powerful top sales guys that sell in billions every month. Yes, they exist. Forget what every other person tells you. Those people work and they live in Nigeria, and they are not selling because they are bankers. They are just on the street doing the right things and getting the job done. They are paid their dues. They run their ads. They go for their marketing. They do their networking, and they do that. And some of them cross 1 billion a month to individuals. They sell like institutions. That's just it. That's what they do, right? Now, so mentors, people above you. They are developers, developing estates, fencing it every day. Now, who else? We have people that are in your league, people that are in the same cadre with you, people that want to grow like you, they have hunger spirit, people you can compare notes with. Those make up your team. And then three, the people that can copy from you. Just like if you are in a match, the coach is the mentor, right? A good coach, you say Guardiola, you say Pep, or the rest of them, Mourinho, I don't know. You get it. Now there are the benchers that will still come to play. Now, because nobody will have the stage forever, right? We don't used to have the stage 10 years ago. Yes, you spend 25 years on the stage and you bow out, you give a bow and you will go, right? So, and that is it. There are stages because you can play on the state stage today. Today, you can be on the national stage in 10 years, and in 20 years, you can be on the global stage, right? And as currently today, there are people on the global stage. So those are infallible. So those are the people, but preferably those within your clique must be the people that are hungry, people that are doing well, people that want to get better. Those are the people that must make your clique. And because those are the people that are easily accessible to you. Now, does this make sense on team? So does this make a little sense? Now, we talk about legacy. Okay, before we talk about legacy, let's talk about data. And, most times data comes in the concept of problem solving. When we see a problem, the first thing we do is that we throw money at it. What we say? We say what money cannot solve, bigger money will solve, right? Then I was watching a series called Decoding the Mind of Bill Gates. And as the time that Bill Gates was looking for a cure for something, and he was trying to look at the cure for sewage treatment, of how a lot of developing countries have challenge with water. And so afterward, he was looking at the concept of how the toilet works. I'm going somewhere. And just imagine the world richest man looking for cheap alternative. Cheap alternative. Cheap alternative. Because he was trying to do the sewage system. And companies were throwing, we can do toilets that will do 500 persons for, they were bringing $50,000, and he was saying, I'm looking for a toilet that's going to cost $500, right? And that was 10 years ago, thereabout, or less than 10 years ago. But what does this tell you? Apart from that, most times when we see a problem, we want to throw money at it. We don't want to examine the problem. We don't want to examine the problem. And examining of a problem is about data collection. It's not about English. It's about the data. Where is majority of my clients coming from? Let me bring it home so I don't speak much English. Where are majority of my clients coming from? Are they coming from Onitsha? Or are they coming from Asaba? If I want to host up a billboard, if I want to host billboard and harvest clients that will call me and later on buy from me, where should I put the billboard? Should I put it in the city of Asaba so that my friends will see it? Or should I put it in the city of Nnewi, where 60% of my clients that buy land from me in Asaba are living? Or should I find a spot in Lagos and spread it in the malls, or find associations in Lagos that I will talk to? Or let me just use the billboard, or look for billboard in Lagos and mount it. You will now say, the billboards in Lagos, the prices are so high compared to Anambra, compared to Delta. Someone that may not be able to connect to the Asaba market may say, it's beautiful, it's good, it's nice. Let me do my billboard in Asaba. Then someone else that is able to connect. 80% of my clients come from Nnewi. They are from the spare parts, is it whatever market? They're from the automobile market in Nnewi, right? Or the bicycle market in Nnewi. Those are the places my clients are coming to. Let me go there and host billboards. He goes there, host one billboard. He makes more money than the person that did not use data to x-ray where is his client coming from. So we say something that we trust in God, but every other thing, you must provide data. I want someone to write that. We trust in God, but then in every other thing, you must provide data. That is, I want us to write it. I trust in God, but in every other thing, you must provide data. So what it means is, in every other thing, I must provide data that this is where the challenge is coming from. This is how the solution can be solved. There is stipulated data. We trust in God, but in every other thing, we must provide data. In every other thing, the data must be in your front. It must be there. You must examine that data and be sure that if I pump in this to this, I will be able to receive this, because it's input, output, input, output. So trust in God. But every other thing must be scrutiny to data. It must be subjected to data scrutiny. We trust in God. Every other thing, data, we must use data to verify. What you are saying, is it workable? Somebody says, oh, a lot of people have lost lands. Correct. But do you also know that all the houses you are seeing is that somebody has a land that the house is standing? So anytime they say the houses we have in Asaba are 1 million houses, it means that 1 million lands were delivered to people. Does somebody understand what I've just said? So provide the data, because you know bad news will always scale more. Provide the data of the number of people that lost their lands. Truly, people lose their lands, no doubt. We know. But when we scrutinize it on data, you know what we'll find out? We may find out that the people that lose land is 10% if it will be up to. That is when they go through the regular course. I thought I said we should write, let's write, we trust in God, but in every other thing, we must provide data, or we must scrutinize the data. Trust in God. I trust in God. But every other thing, I scrutinize data. I trust in God. In every other thing, I scrutinize data. I want us to write that, because I want to make sure it enters our head. I want us to write that. Write that in the chat box. I trust in God, but in every other thing, I scrutinize the data. I provide the data. I chew the data. I verify the data. Because every house you see standing is a proof that someone owns the land and has good ownership. So it's important that we understand this, right? And so data will help us to, and data comes from examining the problem. If you have a solution, there is something we need to solve, right? We all come in a room and this is something we need to solve. And if we decide to spend 90 minutes looking at the challenge, spend 90 minutes looking at the problem, you know what? And let's say we have 100 minutes to solve the problem. If we spend 90 minutes looking at that problem, we'll be able to itemize what is the problem and what is the assumption. Because the assumption and the fact are different. And through the fact, we can go ahead and get it done. Because in looking at it, we'll be looking for data. So I don't know if this makes sense to us. Data. You run your life on data. You run your life on data. You don't not run your life on feelings, on hearsay. Oh, hey, I like this place. I like this talk. Do you say the things you should like is the things for leisure, not the things for investment, not the things that get your life in order. You don't go to do an MBA and you're looking for the MBA that you like. You look for the MBA that is useful to your calling. You look for the MBA that is useful to your business. You look for the MBA that is useful to your next step, to your next expansion drive. Okay, so let's remember that. Okay, so I think I've stressed on that data and I think we understand it. And then the third one is what we call legacy. It's legacy. is legacy. And remember, as real estate veterans, because in these trainings, I know it's going to be funny, but in the next 10 years, the people that are here, the people that are always showing up, will be the captains of the real estate industry in Nigeria. It's no doubt, it's not like it's a miracle, but it's something that we know is sure. But one thing you would always know in your journey is when people say, oh, it's land, I'm going to lose my land, remind him that he's living in a land, he's currently, maybe he's living in a house that he is not paying, that he's paying the rent, and the landlord what owns it. And the landlord is a proof that people buy lands and own the land. You see plazas, all of them are proof that people buy it and they own it. So always remember to let them know that. So because by the time you are 10 years into the industry, you are a state veterinarian, you are in the national spotlight. Yes, it's easy to glide. But for today, people will doubt you, people will say this, and people will say that. They will throw data that are not really they are the data, but they are not the cruise of the matter. They are the figments of the matter. Okay, so I think I want to look at legacy. In building legacy, I want to deviate a little bit in building legacy, and I want to treat it in some other light. Legacy comes planning long term, not planning short term. I want someone to write it down. Legacy comes planning long term and not planning short term. In Africa, most times we plan for the weekend. We don't plan for the decade. We don't plan for the decade. We don't plan for the decade. So we plan for the weekend. But if you want to be solid, if you want to reign, you must plan for the decade. Yes, legacy comes in planning for long term. So you want when your maybe the year is 200 years, you are gone, you are rotten. Your children can pick your picture and say, that's my daddy's picture. Why? That's my great grandfather. You were able to build a solid legacy for them. You were able to build solid legacy. Legacy that they know, we are third generation, we're third generation world. They know, the guy, your child can decide to become a swimming instructor. Huh? Life is sweet. When somebody says he's a swimming instructor, I met someone, a German, and I met her in Abuja, and I can't remember the name of the place where we met, but it's a relaxation place. And I'm like, oh, you came to Nigeria. How have you been? What do you do? She says she's a swimming instructor. And she was like, I've been to 4 African countries this year. And by next week, I'll be in Kenya. But I love Nigeria. This is my second time in Nigeria. I want to visit Nigeria more and more. And I'm like, oh, you're swimming instructor. And my head was, I'm calculating swimming instructor and ability to fly around. You get it? Then when I started querying her, I found out that she's living off the family heritage. So she can do what she wants. So if you're planning for, if you have not been able to leave maybe you want to be a piano instructor. Maybe you want to be able to just encourage people to take a race and lead people to go for mountain climbing. Maybe that's what you want to do. But somebody did not build legacy for you. I'm sorry, you cannot do that because hunger will hit you up. Right? So you have to work hard and plan long term so that your children, or if not your children, your grandchildren can do that. So that you build something that your children can expand, and then your grandchildren can then become the mountain climber instructor. Life is beautiful indeed. But you have to know where you are. Right? So now remember, people that want to build legacy invest in mid-risk, not just high risk. Yes, right. No, you don't like that because mid-risk will yield mid-result. High risk will yield high result. But remember, 90% of the time you lose money in high risk. So the goal is if you ever invest in high risk, once you make money, you grab the money, make money online, online, and invest on land. Make money online. You invest it on land. Make money in high risk. You invest it in mid risk. If you are intending to build legacy, because you invest in things that make you money for sure. If it's my brothers from Mabia, you know what they will say? They say eteloba, etelose, meaning that no matter no metanqualism, no Jupiter, like you will make something from here, right? So billionaires invest in mid risk, but poor people, you know what they do? They only invest on high risk because they are thinking short term. How soon can I cash out? When cash out? He has not invested, but you know the question is actually when cash out. You get the point. So it's always important that we get this and use it to drive a life that we can we can be proud of. We can be proud of. Okay. So in diversify, have low risk. And real estate is mid risk. It's mid risk. Real estate is mid risk, right? I know a lot of people will tell you it's low risk, but the truth is that real estate is mid risk because you have government regulations, CFO can be revoked, you have what's it called? Flooding can occur there. The government can be untroubled, things like that, right? Things like that can happen. But outside that, it's a solid mid risk. Okay? So let's remember that in building legacy, we must think long term. So have a 10-year plan, have a 5-year plan, have a 25-year goal plan, and then stretch yourself. Stretch yourself. A goal is only a goal if you have to stretch. A goal is no goal if you have to walk to there to the goal, right? If you have to walk to the goal, is no goal. You set it so that, oh, this is what I normally achieve in 1 hour. Now I want to achieve this. Now that's a goal. So if you want to do a legacy, oh, I think I can end up my life as with the way things are going. I think in the next 10 years, I should be able to have 100 plots of land. Oh, okay, okay, that is good. Can I set a goal that in the next 10 years, I can have 150 plots? Then I stretch, right? And that's it. So let's remember that. And our Kiss to Landlord Challenge is currently on. And I want us to make sure that we are engaging and that we're doing what we can do to power the life that we need. I've had a nice time on this call. I hope we've had a nice time. And I want us to please go back, look at your notes, and always show up for these sections with your notes, please, so that we can learn and we can relearn. The evidence that we are learning is that what? Is that there's an improved outcome. The evidence of learning is improved outcome. Up there, you can put it up there. Okay. The evidence we are learning is that we have improved outcome, and improved outcome comes from repetition. Go back, look at those notes, look at them, love them, chew them. And the first law of learning is repetition. The first law of heaven is order. And the first law of prosperity is energy. You must be on your feet and you must be willing to get things done. You must be willing to contribute. You must be willing to give your shot. So I want you to start contributing, show energy in our Kids to Landlord Challenge. And that's it. I love you. And I wish that what we share, you use them. You can better your life and you can better your generation. And so that your grandkids can be able to do what they like. So they can be a swimming instructor and they can travel to countries that they like. Okay? Cheers, everyone. And Chacha, over to you. And God bless us. Okay. Charity seems not to be here. Okay, it's okay. Okay, everyone, let's have a beautiful evening. It's 9 o'clock. So I hope we will learn something from the class. So thank you, everyone, and God bless us.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that inspiring class. We truly learned a lot. Thank you, everyone, for your active participation and for listening. We hope you all have a good night rest. Remember our masterclass coming up on Friday and Saturday. Make sure you invite at least 5 persons and don't be late. Okay? So you have a good night, everyone. And God bless us.